Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing great. My day's a little better today. The sun's out. It's a little warmer. We have some warm weather coming up. I was listening to uh, too many people trying to enlighten other people or telling them who the masters of enlightenment are when Christ is the only and God in our hearts. The Word of God's written on our hearts. Can you imagine, like back in the pioneer days or um, the Indians on the Trail of Tears, or, people out actually doing things, or you're building a home and you're like, well, just a minute, buddy, I gotta sit here and meditate to become enlightened before I can carry on with my day. Or people, I mean, these are crafts that these people have developed, and religions and cults to get money from other people from telling you that, oh, we have so much knowledge that you'll never be able, the average person will never be able to get what I'm talking about. And I find that very irritating. Like I said, it'd be like me going out and working in the garden and Doug saying, well, hey, Barb, come over here. Well, just a minute. I'm like in my Zen moment. Um, um, you know, it's irritating. It's rather repulsive. I'm not just talking about Middle Eastern religions that do meditate and whatever, and the theory of the chakras and um, our third eyes or any of that. That isn't real, but it's all written about in the scriptures anyway. And everybody is enlightened. You're enlightened to what you know. And we share with each other. There might be something somebody writes to me. Oh, master, master of the universe. Everybody wants to rule the world, right? You know. So it's kind of, like I said, really sickening and repulsive. you know, it's getting old. Um, or I saw things, and one person touched on a good point, like you're going to go from a 3D matrix system into 5D, and like you're skipping a step or something. I don't what There are no steps. God's got a hold of us no matter where we are. We're not in any separate dimension from our creator ever at any point at any time. And there's nobody that needs to tell you anything that isn't already there. you know, you can read the Bible, and what you get out of it for that time in your life, or if you're hearing somebody speak about the Word of God, and what you gather at that time is what you are meant to gather. That's what God has written for you at that moment. No, there's no set of instructions for everyone from any teaching anywhere, you know. So I'm going to light a cigarette just a moment. I was going to put them by me and then I forgot. Sorry. Oh, grab one or two. I got two. Want one? Sorry. No, I know some of you don't smoke. That's okay. I do. I enjoy it. So I figure if I don't become anybody else's health problem, then they shouldn't have a problem with it. I'm not in their house. I'm not around their children. I'm not doing anything to them at all. This channel isn't for kids. Never was, never will be. You know. So I don't know. There's a lot of people that are concerned that it's the preachers that are pushing like the end time repentance thing, really hard. I mean, if you have God in your heart, you're repenting already. You know, it's a daily thing. It's not something you have to beg him for. He hears you, your sorrows, you know. It's like we don't have to beg and grovel like that. We're not meant to do that. We're not meant to look at another man as a teacher. And I mean, maybe inspirational leader, absolutely yes. But people that are out there screaming for money and making books and you know, like like I said, like they know something you don't. That's really it's stupid. You know, I could say, well, I know things you don't, so that makes me more intelligent. No, it doesn't. You know things I don't. Are you more intelligent? No. We're all created equal like that. That's something they don't say enough. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that Christ said you don't pay for somebody to give you your daily bread. That's given freely. You were given it freely. Receive it freely, you give it freely. Thank you, Robinson. That's something you say quite often. Couldn't agree more. You know, God gives us everything we need. The reason for a church and a fellowship, that's just it. Fellowship. It's not really to teach anybody anything. Our teacher is in our hearts, you know. So, anyway, well, that's what I've been thinking about today. That yeah, I study Buddhism and Hinduism and Taoism and all kinds of isms. Catholicism. Oh, that was a rough one. Yeah, because I got some real strong prejudice against a cult that pretends it's Christian when it couldn't be further from the truth. And we can't rewrite scriptures and to suit ourselves like they've done. And so that's the way that is. I seen a meme that said that the Queen of England is like deathly sick or on her deathbed. Does anybody know anything about that? Do I wish her ill? Sorta, honestly. If God could come in her heart, then I wouldn't wish her ill. But you know, actually, the post was her walking by homeless people, and you know, it's disturbing these misleaders that we have in this world. It is. It's sickening. I'm not going to sit there and wish somebody well when they could care less about me or you. No, I'm not. That's just the way that is. So, it's the second time in about 10 minutes now. That phone's ringing. I'm not answering it though. Maybe I should, but I might later. Yeah, I'll go answer. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm gonna let it ring. I do that quite often. I'm just thinking somebody's probably trying to get a hold of Doug because it was a local number before, so probably still is. And then we get a lot of those scam calls, and they have local numbers on them, but they're not. So yeah, the heck with it. But yeah, no, I don't wish her well. I wish her God, but I don't wish her well. So if you knew the things I knew, and you probably do, or you can, um, you might feel the same way. If not, I'm cool with that too. But I'm not like into petting demons in my life. It's not come here, baby, I love you. Oh, you're so cute. You old bat. you and Jesuits and popes and cardinals all standing there wearing, well, what is said to be the skin of babies dyed red shoes, the Red Shoe Society, if you know about that. Yeah. Well, the Queen's involved in all that stuff. So, like I said, in 1976, she was in charge of, I think, now this has happened more than once, but one time in particular, I think it was 18 children went missing in one day under her care. So, I mean, I don't take these things lightly and I don't forget them, you know? It's definitely not a joke, you know? And I know that's what Princess Diana was trying to tell everybody. Um, they say, some people say that she's still alive. I hope she is. Now, I do wish her well, no matter if her spirit's with our Father or not. But, yeah, there's a difference in people, and um, some people aren't people. They really are not human beings. And the vessel they are in, they're demonic in flesh, does not make them human. How do you differentiate? Um, that's an easy one. By their fruits. If you go into other countries and you're trying to dominate that country with promises of making it better, but you take everything from the people that live there and their lives are any better and they're living in poverty like Africa, like they're doing over there. And what China did to Africa is totally, thoroughly disgusting. Built them roads with promises of making transportation easier for them and all kinds of things like that. Um, and then ended up where the contracts that they signed made it almost entirely impossible for the people to get major parts of their country back from these people and those agreements. And the Queen of England is responsible for all that. And they're working all together, that dark cabal. That's what they do. What does everybody think about the elections that are going on? Um, if they would just get rid of the two-party system and we could install people in that are going to uphold the Constitution as it was written and stop trying to change it into something that they want, you know? And what do you think about Facebook turning into Meta, part of Metaverse? That's kind of creepy. Do you know about Skynet as far as how they're going to control all AI in a robotic forms? And that's on my Facebook. That's really creepy. You might want to look into that. There was a oh, distracting gang stalking neighbor. He really is. I'll get back to what I was saying, but when they first moved in, and this is no baloney. I mean, luckily I wasn't doing nothing, but I was in my bathroom and I can see out of my back window from there, one of my back windows, and he's up on the middle of the hill in the back, almost on our property, looking right in my house. Talk about a creepazoid. I've had two sets of neighbors there since that house was built up there, and I've never had one stand there looking in my house. That's creepy. Now Doug's gone, and he's out there. I don't know, and Doug wasn't here that day either. He's just a total. He's not as bad as some neighbors. Oh, okay. I'll tell you the rest of Skynet, and then I'll tell you a story. Um, So these little robots that they had are called sand fleas, and I took it. That pisses me off. Now there is a difference between anger, being mad, and being pissed. Pissed is the least severe of all of them. Mad, that's just like totally out of your mind. Angry, that's kind of I'm pissed. Um, maybe all of the above. Maybe if we combine them, there could be a new word for the feeling I'm feeling. Because when labs get caught doing experiments on biological life forms and cut out the vocal cords and put sand fleas on them to see the torture level and their brain waves and that type of thing, you know, they have a robot called Sand Flea. I feel it's really not a coincidence. They could have just called it Flea, but they specifically called it Sand Flea. And like I said, I don't see that that's oh, okay, here's a gang stalking thing. This is a big one too. We had these people move across the street and a house up, and first thing, okay, their horse came over in our yard and they couldn't catch it. Okay, whatever. My horse went over there to visit, and all I had to do was go grab her, and she came home. Another time, their horse came over to get my horse, and once again, she could not get her horse. So they've been kind of um, mm, not very nice neighbors, to say the least. Um, okay, well, the night before last, Doug was out in his shop, and they have this dog that's mixed with pit bull. It looks like it's a like bone hound mixed with pit. And he came out of his shop, and he usually has like a headlight thing. Well, the one LED light he had out there, he's got to replace the bulb. But so he's outside of his shop about 20 feet away from him. He hears this thing growling at him in the dark. And it's been like, well, about a month ago, Doug shot up in the air and chased it home. Because we have kitties over here, and we're starting to think that maybe that's what got a hold of our cat. Might have been fighting over their food or whatever before we had the walls up on their kitty house. It could actually get in at them too. So, but anyway, back to the story. So, Doug went in and got a 40 caliber Ruger handgun and blew it up in the air. And this prick neighbor of ours yells up into our yard, "Did you get him?" He's dying of cancer. It's not this other person we know. This is another neighbor that just so happens to be dying of cancer. It's like, what? You're dying, so you want your dog dead too? You know, can't keep them. We have leash laws here, but when Doug's 71 years old, and you got some rabid fucking dog out there growling at him, that's serious. Right outside on your own property. I mean, we're not even in the country. These people have their own land. As a matter of fact, they have more land than we do. So what are you doing walking your dog up by us? There's absolutely no reason for it unless you're intentionally trying to cause a problem, you know. So, and we don't want to kill it. We don't, you know. So, I don't know. But that's not so cool, you know. Inconsiderate people. Oh, it was funny the night our horses were together. He goes, "You gotta get them." And Doug turns around, starts walking down the road, and they weren't on their property or anything. They were on a friend of mine's property. I thought, yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll get my horse when the sun comes up. So I came home too, and I stayed up all night. Went out there at sunrise. got my horse, and she still couldn't catch her horse. And all you had to do, Dusty, and she'd come, and we're on our way home, and she goes, "Stop so I can get my horse." She has treated me so crappy in the past. I just pirouetted with my horse. We turned around really quick, and I said, "Get your own damn horse." And I kept walking, because they really have been dirty. And then they came over. She's running around my pasture trying to catch her horse. And I had Dusty stand still. I just put out my hand. My horse stopped, and she's still out there chasing her pony, which is a little smaller, was a little smaller than Dusty was. And but these people, they don't call their horses to them; they chase them. It's like it's the funniest shit I ever seen in my life, and I'm gonna tell it like it is. Her butt's about as big as a bumper on a small car, and it wasn't a pretty sight. Okay, I said it. Whatever. You know, maybe she needed to run. I don't know. But the horse thought it was funny too. And then when I put up my hand and stopped Dusty, her horse stopped by me too. And I almost put out my hand. I was going to call him to me. And I thought, no, no, that's good enough. And I made it where she could get up by her horse without mine running again. So at least I was nice enough to do that. But I wasn't going to stop until I had my horse home. Oh, so I take my horse home, and before I get home, she stops on the road because she couldn't get her pony and called the cops on me. So the cops over on our land with this woman on our land chasing her horse around. And Doug says, "You have no business. Get off my fucking property." And he said, "You don't have to talk to me like that." And Doug said, "I'll talk to you any way I want to talk to you because you're illegal. And so is this bitch." And he says, "Sir, you don't have to talk like that." And Doug says, "I'll talk to you any fucking way I want to talk to you." I mean, that's because these people have pushed us. And there really was no reason to call the police. It's like, I got my horse home. Just come and get your horse. And if she had even talked to me like a human being, I would have helped her, but she never has. She sent her husband over to get her horse the first time, and he couldn't deal with it. So, anyway, yeah, people. So, anyway, yeah, I got gang stalking neighbors for real. I got ones up on the hill across from me in South that they'll drive up and shine their windows right or lights right in my window at nighttime, that type of stuff. And they put up a light where it will shine right into it. It's like, so yeah, they're all over the place, aren't they? Yeah, strange. Same ones that were out there playing disc golf when we were building, and they're laughing at us because we're out there building stuff and they're out in a little golf cart. And I really have no clue why you would need a golf cart to throw a frisbee, but I guess that's their thing. you know, my feet work pretty good, but you know, anyway. Uh, and maybe if there's a day when they don't, I would like a golf cart. you know. Oh well. Wow, it's pretty hard to be zen around here, isn't it? Yeah, kind of it is. It used to be so quiet around here. It's like three other families on the road, and now there's like too many, you know. And they do want our land. They want us out of here, but they aren't going to get it. Even if I move, they're not getting this land. So, no. I have plants from my grandfather's house, um, uh, irises that are over 100 years old. Let me figure this out now. Probably 120 or more years old that his wife, my grandmother, had planted in her garden that I used to water after she died. So, um, and I planted them here now, and different things like that in my yard that I've propagated for future generations. And they're very rare and very special. And yeah, I'll fight for it. Damn right I will. Yes, I will. Yeah. Physically, maybe. Mentally and spiritually, for real. Maybe physically too, if that's what it takes. I could see me taking my metal bat to a robot. I might not do much, but then here comes Doug with the AR-7 or an AK. I think that might do something to it, you know. And they're all legal and registered too. So, yeah, every gun we own. That's why they want to take away the Second Amendment, because there's people that can do an awful lot of damage. I mean, if something comes onto our property, we have every right to do what the hell we want, you know? So, drones, whatever. That's what a neighbor of ours, too, told another neighbor. They had a drone and they were flying it over their house. And he said, keep your drone over your own land or I'm going to shoot it out of the air. Pretty simple, you know. And why would you want to fly a drone over somebody else's land anyway? You know, go on the road, fly it down the road, you know, up above you. Or, I mean, there's so many open areas around here. They could go way, way north and there wouldn't even be any houses around. They could fly forever and not ever see another house. You know, why look down on somebody else's land and house and whatever, you know? And they're a middle aged couple that look like their children might have just got out of the house. Maybe they're out um, skipping around their house naked with their kids gone. You know, they live way back in the woods. They can do whatever they want. You know, I'm just saying, you know, not that we do that, but I'm just saying maybe they do, you know. So hopefully they don't. And it's kind of cold out anyway right now. So, no, this happened last year, and the guy just told him, you know, and we feel the same way. We'll blow it out of the air for real. Doesn't matter, you know. Hopefully, they're not going to waste the taxpayers' money by trying to attack anybody with drones and that type of thing. Like a couple of years ago, when all this quarantine crap started, that God, how distracting. Anyway, that they had drones over in it was, I think, oh, let me see where the Beatles were originated from. I can't really think of that town right now. um I can't remember the name of the town. That's, oh god, he's a bastard. Well, anyway, they had drones flying around to make sure people stayed in their houses and everything. I saw there's a movie out. I might watch it on YouTube called Quarantine 2025. Wow. Hmm. Wonder what that's predicting, you know. That might be interesting. Still trying to think of that name of that town. Maybe I can just a minute. Hmm. And then I keep having Abbey Road pop in my head. I had a dog named Abby. Well, somebody else's dog I took in because they were going to kill her. But, mm, not Lancaster. I had a friend, I thought he was a friend that used to watch me. That is from the town I'm talking about. But friendship wasn't good enough, so whatever. You know, I'm not going to sit there and, okay, here comes some crass stuff. Here it goes, whatever. I'm going to sit here and, electronically suck his dick to make him happy. It's like, fuck you, go away then. You know, if you can't, and then I told him sending me pictures of flowers is not helping your cause in our friendship. It didn't really do much for me aside insulting me. I don't even like flowers from Doug unless he were to go out and pick them, but to actually go and buy me cut flowers, it's just gross to me. I'd rather have a plant, you know, whatever. When people paid, like even back in the day, like $5, $6 a rose, and God knows what they are now. I mean, that's no offense to like I had my oldest son and his wife. I'm sure it was his wife's idea. Sent me a bouquet, but like last year, I think it was, they sent me a live plant, a calla lily, and I still have it, you know, in a big box of candy. So I think it was a combination birthday, um, Valentine Day thing. So yeah, yeah, it was a little crass today, even on Facebook, because um, well, most of my friends over there have been thoroughly and totally through hell, and um, the women are drop dead gorgeous. Some of them are getting older, regardless, whatever. But they're not afraid to swear, and if they're swearing, I know there's a reason for it. When we know the ones that act like they're all perfect and they're wearing their old designer clothes or whatever. And that's not an issue. I mean, I could care less one way or another. And you don't have to cuss to impress me either. I'm just saying, if a woman's cussing, we know that there's ones that act like sluts in this world that would never cuss or have to talk all mealy mouth like little babies, to pretend like they're docile and sweet and they're fucking demons, so we know that. And so we're coming together as the women in the world like that. Like, yeah, if you're swearing lady, I know. And then other people try to paint you unladylike when you're standing up for something. And when I'm speaking out to these other women that look down on us because we know their game and we're not playing it. So that's what's going on with me today over there. And I just told them, well, fuck you, with a K, with a UK, FUK, you know. So, yeah. And I'm not kidding. And it seems to me, and it just seems to me, I don't know why, but there's something thoroughly ugly about sluts. I think what they are on the inside starts coming on the outside, you know. And Doug thinks that too. And I really truly believe that. So you can't hide. You can put all the makeup on your beady little eyes you want, and it isn't going to take that serpent look away from you. We see you. Whatever. Want some red lipstick? Ever seen the cartoon Eek the cat? That's what they all look like. No offense if I have friends here wearing the red lipstick, whatever, but the indication of the blood with that and the satanic indications of it and implications, I'm fully aware of that too, so pretend all you want. Whatever, whatever, you know. Light red, maybe, a little bit of color here and there if you're a little more paler, I could see. But if these some of these people have like really, really white skin, and they wear that bodacious, bodacious, hideous blood red on their faces like that, and it's gross. It really is. Well, maybe I've dissed on people enough now. you know. Oh, that reminds me, and I'll tell you this real quick. If I run out of time, I'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, I got caught up the other day, and it's just when I was saying, I think how God comes into our hearts, and helps us out and cut me off. But I got my message out just like perfect timing, so that was really cool. Well, today there was people that were looking for animal hospital, and this one woman had said that she took her fur babies to this one in particular, and they killed it, and she'll never take them back there again. That she had taken them to another town, and she's never had a problem with them several times. And I told her, I said, and I hate to diss on anybody, is what I put at the end, but I said, I took my bunny to the same place, and he was 6 years old when he got sick. They sent him home to die, and I wasn't taking no for an answer. And I used some of my own medications that I had around, like horse wormer. I bought him penicillin, all kinds of things, and I stayed up for almost a month through the night. I did this with my son's dog too, but taking care of him so he wouldn't expire through the night. I had to get vitamins and medicine in him on a constant basis, and it seemed like he was picking up speed. He lived another 8 years. This is a bunny I could walk on a leash, and played with my cat and used the litter box, and very smart. I could ask him to do something and he'd wave. He literally would look at Doug. If Doug was eating something in front of him, he'd go right at him. I wonder where he learned that. you know, how funny is that? That's a smart bunny, huh? Yeah. So, and then I told her, and then with my son's dog, I had held an open wound all the way into town, which was really hard to do, reaching over the back seat and trying to keep him um, intact, because that's the only way I could do it without having major amounts of blood all over me. And I got him in there, and they made me sit in this waiting room holding this pressure on this dog for almost an hour. I was getting to the point where I said, Doug, you have to help me. And we both took our hands, and I put his hand in my hand, and because I was running out of strength after, an hour and some holding pressure on this wound. And they did a pretty, pretty bad job um, sewing the dog up. He did live for another year after that, but I think he might have even done better if we had took him somewhere else. So I just, like I told the people, I hate to diss on anybody, but you got to tell it like it is. And I was glad that I did too, because yeah, they did a real shoddy job in a couple of different things. And like Doug said, it looked very amateurish, and it did. The dog stitches looked like Frankenstein's. Um, Doug's had stitches up his arm. He's got a metal titanium rod in his arm, and they stapled him like that when he broke it. Car accident. My bad thoughts might have actually caused it. That's when I first met him. I was so mad at him, but that's another story. Um, but a true one. And he has he had ripped his head open on both of his temples, and luckily his cousin was with him. They were on, I think, a scooter, and his cousin had been a medic in the army and was able to apply pressure. And but Doug almost died. And I saved Doug's life before, so and he was born dead. So it's like, yeah, wounded head and did live. Yeah, same with me. I literally was dead. I get hit with a head in the head, cracked my skull all the way up the back, um, and was dead for a while. So yeah, that's something Doug and I have in common. Those are wounded head and did live type of situations that are true. And several other times I could tell you several frightening stories about that, but it's all true. But anyway, the dog's stitches looked like Frankenstein's monster. It was really bad. So, okay, everybody, I'm going to let you go. Just shooting the breeze with you. And